The former president, who marked his 100th birthday last October, was the 39th president of the United States and became the oldest living and longest-lived U.S. president with the longest post-presidency to date. He became the longest-living president in March 2019 when he overtook former President George H.W. Bush, who died months earlier. Carter was seen marking his centenary with family gathered in the backyard of his home in Georgia, watching a four-jet military flyover to mark the occasion. The late president, who was also the governor of the state of Georgia from 1971 to 1975, was earlier seen in public at the funeral of his late wife Rosalynn, who died in November last year after almost 8 decades of marriage. He appeared frail and sat in a wheelchair throughout the memorial. Carter is widely viewed as having enjoyed one of the most successful post-presidencies, particularly in the area of human rights, receiving the UN Human Rights Prize in 1998, followed by the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002 for his decades of untiring efforts to find peaceful solutions to international conflicts, advance democracy and human rights, and promote economic and social development. He was a founding member, along with former President Nelson Mandela, of the Elders in 2007. Carter defied severe illness, including a 2015 brain cancer diagnosis, which he addressed at the time.
I would say that night and the next day, until I came back up to Emory, I just thought I had a few weeks left. But I was surprisingly at ease. You know, I've had a wonderful life. I've had thousands of friends, and I've had an exciting and adventurous and gratifying existence. So I was surprisingly at ease, much more so than my wife was. But now I feel, you know, that it's in the hands of God, whom I worship, and I'll be prepared for anything that comes.
In 2019, he was seen working for Habitat for Humanity despite having received 14 stitches and a bruised eye hours earlier after a fall at home. He was 95 at the time. President Joe Biden said the Carters were admired for their strength and humility shown in difficult times, wishing them a continued journey with grace and dignity, and that God grant them peace.
They're really an incredible family because they brought so much grace to the office. And, you know, it's one thing if you're the one who's being president and you're putting on the show while you're president. Look what kind of host he was. He did the same thing for people after he was president, when he was retired. Not for money, but just help. He was an incredible guy. I always joke that he always would say to me, "You're the first person ever I endorsed him. I'm the first person to endorse him as U.S. Senator." And he ran. But he had just great integrity.
Over the last number of years, President Carter had retreated from public life, making fewer in-person appearances, including missing the inauguration of his fellow Democratic President Biden in January 2021. President Carter is survived by his 4 children and more than 24 grand and great-grandchildren. Jimmy Carter was 100 years old. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.